welcome back. We have a jammed gearbox here, which has offered itself as being the next victim for this video. Now, this is just going to be probably a very, very good example of why it's so important to have the shims correct within your gun. Fortunately, this is what they call a split gearbox, so it actually makes perfect candidate for showing you what I'm about to show you. That's the upper part, that has the cylinder, piston, spring. So for this video, we don't need that bit. Now, this gearbox, it's arrived to me because it stopped cycling. Basically everything jammed up on it. It wouldn't cycle, it wouldn't do anything. Which usually means something within this has broken and then jammed itself. It's usually a tooth that's decided to give up and then gone and got jammed in with the rest of the teeth and locked the whole gearbox up. But before I even took this bit apart, I noticed something which I think is going to be causing the problem. So if I show you down in the top here, now these are all your gears. If I grab this one, there's a bit of movement, which you always get with factory shimming. You can see that moving around in there. So that's something that I usually say to get corrected, so that it's tighter, but not too tight, that it's not free to move. However, when I grab the other one, watch this. Look at that. So, my guess is that is going to be what the problem is. Now, the reason that is bad is because we're relying on these teeth meshing with each other. Now, when they're under load, and they're pulling that spring back, there's a lot of energy being displaced there. So it's got to go somewhere. Now, if the teeth aren't meshing properly, you're not going to get that load bearing across 100% or nearly 100% of each of those teeth. It's all locking up again. Okay, so whatever it is was locking it, we've managed to free it by wiggling it. There we go, it's locked again. And that isn't the anti-reverse lever. So there is definitely something in there that is brushed. Oh, there we are, let's, we've moved it. Okay, yeah, there's definitely something on there because that's not wiggling anymore. So that suggests to me there's a broken bit on that gear. Yes, it's wobbling again now. So let's open it and have a little look inside at what the problem is. Well, that one looks alright. That also looks alright. Oh, I see it. And I found the broken bit as well. So, there is a tooth that's broken. And if we look here, it's broken off. Now, believe it or not, interestingly, where that is the gear that was moving earlier, because that was wobbling up and down so much, like so, that put all the stress on obviously the top part of those teeth, and that's what's caused that to break. So that couldn't be a more perfect example of why it is so important to have your gears shimmed properly. within your gun. And obviously the more powerful a spring you use, the faster rate of fire you're going for. That just enhances that need for perfect shimming more and more the further you push your gun. It's an easy fix. All we'll do is we'll put some new gears in it, we'll make sure they're shimmed correctly, and we'll be back to normal. Right, we now have new gear in here, all shimmed up nicely. So we'll just check it, we'll just show you. So before, do you remember we had plenty of movement on that gear there? It now goes minimal. Everything is spinning nice and freely, so that's fine. Now the way I would check my shimming, once I've done it, quite simply, if you grab a torch and you put it below the gearbox, I don't know how well this is going to work on camera, but you should be able to see that between the gears, you want to be able to see the light between this gear and this gear where they overlap. Now that is how I know I've got them as close as I can get, but without them touching, because you don't want them touching. Oh, it's not really working like it is if you look at it in person. But anyway, that's what I do, and you can do the same going through that way to check the one at the bottom, and then you can look through the bottom there. So that's how I check mine, which has worked for me so far. Now that I'm happy with that, all I have to do is put reverse lever back in, a little notch at the front, and rebuild it all back together in the gun. All back together and working. All it was the lack of some of these. These are shims. These are some of the most important bits within your gearbox. Without them, we have things like that happen. If you can see that there, broken tooth. Had they been in the right place, that would probably have never happened. It's not a problem. New gears, freshly shimmed. Now we can do this again.